OS College. Tutorials about software that works equally well on Windows, macOS, and Linux desktop operating systems. This video, from OS College, demonstrates how to run Balena Etcher on a Linux operating system. Etcher is an application that writes, or flashes, operating systems to external drives, such as USB sticks, SD cards, and external hard drives. It allows an operating system, such as a Linux operating system, like Linux Mint, to be tested and installed by inserting one of these drives into a computer. This video demonstrates downloading and running the AppImage for Etcher. An AppImage does not need to be installed on a Linux operating system. Rather, it is run from the folder it is downloaded to. AppImages can be set up to run on external drives, so they can be taken from Linux computer to Linux computer. The AppImage for Etcher may not work on every Linux operating system, even after it is set to execute. Balena has other ways of running Etcher, however. There are ways to install Etcher onto various Linux operating systems. Installing Etcher will be demonstrated in other videos that can be found on the OS College website and YouTube channel. The AppImage that will be demonstrated in this video is the 64-bit version. The 32-bit version is ran the same way, so there will not be a separate video on it. Etcher works equally well on Windows, macOS, and Linux operating systems. There are videos about installing it on macOS and Windows operating systems on the OS College website and YouTube channel. There are also videos that show the different ways it writes to external drives. When you go to the Etcher web page on the Balena website, click the Download Etcher button and the web page will scroll to a list of files in a section called Download Etcher. The download link for the 64-bit AppImage for Linux systems is the second to last one in the list. Clicking it will start the download process in your browser. The file will be downloaded to the folder on your computer that your web browser has been set to download to. As mentioned earlier, the process for the 32-bit version is the same as the one for the 64-bit. The 32-bit version is the last item in the list. It can flash the same operating system files to an external drive as the 64-bit version of Etcher can. The 32-bit Etcher application, however, is designed to work on older computers running Linux operating systems. One of the best 32-bit versions of Linux is one called LXLE. There is a link to it on the Etcher webpage on the OS College website and the description for this video on YouTube. Back to downloading the 64-bit version. The AppImage version of Etcher is not installed, but rather is run directly from the folder it is downloaded to. Therefore, you may want to change the folder where your web browser downloads to. Note, if you want to have Etcher stored on an external drive, there are some extra steps that need to be performed. Those steps are not covered in this video. This video shows changing the folder in Firefox to a folder that is on a computer's internal hard drive. OS College has videos about downloading for several web browsers: Chrome, Firefox, Edge, Safari, Opera, and Brave. In Firefox, go to the Settings tab. Then scroll to the Save Files to item. Click the Browse button. In the dialog that appears, select the desired folder. Return to the Etcher web page. Then click the download link for the 64-bit AppImage item. This starts the download in your browser. Once the AppImage has been downloaded, it needs to be set up to run or set to execute. This video demonstrates the procedure in Linux Mint. For other operating systems, both the steps and dialogues that are shown will be similar. Go to the folder on your computer where Etcher was downloaded to. Right-click on the icon to reveal a menu. The last item in the menu is Properties. Properties will most likely be the last choice in every Linux operating system. Click it. A window will open with several tabs. For Linux Mint, there are 4: Basic, Permissions, Open With, and Emblems. Other operating systems may have different tabs in this menu, and may have a different number of tabs in this menu. All the operating systems, however, should have a Permissions tab. Here is the Permissions tab in Fedora. Here it is in Manjaro. Here it is in Ubuntu. Note, setting Etcher to execute may not work in Ubuntu. Etcher may need to be installed. OS College has a video about installing Etcher on Linux operating systems. Back in Linux Mint, click the Permissions tab if it isn't already selected. The permission tabs in most operating systems have a checkbox named Allow Executing File as Program or Execute. Some operating systems may have a different way of setting an applications to execute. In Linux Mint, click the box to add a check in it. Once the file is set to execute in the Permissions tab, close the dialog. Go back to the Etcher icon in the folder. Double-click it. You should see the Etcher application window on your screen. That is the entire process. You can now start flashing operating systems to external drives. This video, from OS College, has been about setting up the Balena Etcher AppImage to run on a Linux operating system. Thank you for watching. There are other related videos about Etcher on the OS College website, oscollege.com, and the OS College YouTube channel. If you are watching on YouTube, be sure to click the subscribe and like buttons to receive notifications about future videos. OS College has videos about a variety of applications and operating systems, in addition to Etcher. Also check us out on Facebook and MeWe.